We've not been very good to ourselves.
Exactly. Some of us are still broke and
Yes. Yes, we are talking about the broke millionaires of Kenya.
yes.
Oh my God, you know, tenderpreneurs. There was a time it was so fashionable. You could see people driving a flashy, I don't know, whatever kind of a car. And then when you ask, what do you do for a living? They're tenderpreneurs. It was so quite fashionable.
Yeah.
And now you hear a tenderpreneur, you know they are synonymous with suicide, synonymous with brokenness. I'm telling you, even your bank manager will not. Are you sure? They will not want to talk to you to finance your, you know, because the government has now been known not to pay. Yeah. So I don't know whether it's a sign of things to come. Maybe Kenya is going to broke, but here is what there is to say. With that report, it came on KTN about the broke millionaires.
Yes.
And one government tender specialist was saying that in most of those cases, you find that a rule or two has been flaunted. For me, yes, people are dying, they are committing suicide. It's a sad state. But I think time has come when surely the tender must be won. The tender must be won on merit. Because just because you know someone who knows someone who knows someone, this is how these tenders used to be won. And in the process, that's how the rules get flaunted. And when the rules are flaunted, that's why the payments are not being done. So perhaps this is the sacrifice that needs to be made for proper rules to be followed.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the only way. Here's the thing. In order for you to even get in the game, the rule has to be flaunted to some extent. And then now they use that leverage now not to pay you. And that's a little how even what happens is certain people will be paid even before even a project is even executed. And certain people will not be paid at all, and yet the project has been done.
Try and be among the people to be paid before you execute.
That's the game. That's literally the game.
Yeah.
And literally now what happens is a lot of people, even a lot of Kenyans, even when you actually now view this is an avenue, not only can I even earn an income for myself, but I can also even help even, quote unquote, even my country, even as I'm executing a certain task that the government has allocated to me. Now saying even don't ever give the government an excuse for no payment. Don't ever say that. Because the issue is this. In order for someone to even qualify to get in, the government officials who are actually in there, aka procurement officers, shout out to you, you know yourself. You know what you guys do? Literally now, documentations, they say, oh, a certain document is missing, or a certain stamp, or you've not CC'd the right person, or you CC'd the wrong order of people, or even that certain letters. That's literally the protocol. It's individuals that have been put in certain places that actually now hinder progress to actually be done. Because literally what happens is that procurement officer, or even that person who's actually right there, who hinders that individual to actually now go get the funding, to get the clearance for that check to be cleared. Funding is usually there. The problem is access to it, and it's not cleared because someone somewhere has not been pampered, or because they see that indeed you getting the tender would not fit my best interest. So when interests are not aligned, payment is not transacted, and that's the biggest issue. And now the repercussions is now people going into debt, and then now people even having to now go bankrupt, and people having to even to because they've leveraged other assets within themselves. They're having to sell off those assets because a simple person as individual was not either happy or the interest did not align for that transaction to happen. And guess who suffers? Not only that Kenyan, but also those Kenyans who are hoping that that project will actually be able to help their lives. That's the truth.
Maria?
Corruption. It's corruption. It's just corruption.
Yes.
Because for you to get it, you must be corrupt most of the times.
True.
And if you're not corrupt, then you know someone who is going to do that. And the worst part is, when it comes to payment now, you can push for months. Inflation has happened. Your profit is not helping you anymore. Interest on the debts you had have gone high, and then the people who want to make the payment go fast need to be paid too. It's just too much corruption. Sometimes it feels like you're not even making progress with your life by working with the government sometimes. Yet they are the ones who should be able to make life easier. But no, it's just corruption. There is a lot of corruption happening in government projects. Because for you to get even to that procurement, the steps you've taken. And now, from procurement to finance, there's this thing that so and so, the one who's supposed to sign income this day, the one with this day not there, this day. And they're all reporting office, but they're never all of them in office. So you struggle. By the time you get your payment, bankruptcy happens. And that a lot of people are suffering because of that. And sometimes you find that the people who are doing the project, if it's your people, like the government is procuring the people they know, payment goes so fast. Because they know what they're doing. And they know what they're gaining from that. Try and go there as a account.
I think what we need to look at is that the way these county governments were formed, they didn't have enough capacity and they didn't streamline a lot of things. And then the second part is that people are eager to get rich quick. Yes. The people in the offices are eager to get rich quick. So what they do is that they make sure that when a tender comes in, they refuse to pay you until you give them some money. Yet you're competing with individuals who have ghost companies and work in the county.
Shell companies.
Yeah. They work there and they are doing the big tenders and they are paid upfront. They are paid before something is delivered. A very good case is there's a lady from Nyahururu who did a lot of roads in Nyahururu. She passed on because of depression. So because she had done all the town roads. I'm a very old woman. She was an entrepreneur, yet she was not paid a single coin until she died. So she went to the bank, picked so many loans, mortgaged her shamba, her houses, the rentals, everything, just to do this project. Because she had been promised in 1 year,
this will be paid.
You'll be paid your money, and her money was into millions of shillings. And then all of a sudden, 4 years down the line, they hadn't paid. Her matrimonial house was sold fast. Her shambas were sold, her cows, everything was sold. She went to live in Amabate before she died. Until to date, even the kids have not been paid. My argument is that we have a serious problem with this corruption Maria is talking about, where people tender for you projects knowing very well that you deliver but you will not be paid. And the government also knows. They always tell you that we are assessing whether they are true or there are rules which have been floated, which is not the case. Tenders are put in a portal. There's a system where we do it. Then there's a pre-qualification. There's bidding. Tenders are not like I pick you, Simon, or against Maria and say, oh, you've got it. There's a bid committee which sits down and decides. This is the best offer we've gotten. We'll go with it and we'll pay it in 6 months. Then the time for payment, like the Nairobi City Council, for example, people don't get paid completely. Even as the Standard Group, they owe us lots of money.
And that's a serious issue. And that now leads me to this question. Do people actually now want to do business with the government, and will it reach a point where these tenders that are actually released out there, that individuals who are willing and able to actually execute the work, not those who know that they'll be paid up front, will never actually bid? And guess who suffers the most? As Kenyans who are not able to see the actual work being done.
I have 2 points on that issue. Number one, what people need to know is that the government is the biggest client. If you're not doing business with the government, I don't know what business you're doing, because they are the biggest payers and the big. So when the government is not paying, the whole economy actually can ground to a halt. Just the government alone. Okay? Number two, personally, from what I have seen, for as long as you're affiliated with the government, you're well off. You know, on the side I also do some real estate, whatever. I just hear it's you. I'm not even selling to you.
Why?
I don't want to deal with the government. Because the government is not paying people who, let me tell you, even the other day some project I was interested in, and I was just talking to my bank manager. Oh, you know, there's this project that I may do, whatever. She was like, she cautioned me, don't even move near. I can show you my book right now. People are depressed, people are sick. Any advice I can give you, don't deal with the government right now.
It is
until they clear themselves.
one of the 100 ways to die, or is it 1,000 ways to die?
In Kenya.
In Kenya.
In Kenya.
Shaving is not even somewhere.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's
You
what
had that PS who actually moved into someone's house even before they pay. Who wants to deal with such rogue
Yes.
people?
No.
Me, for as long as your name is associated with the government, niache kabisa niache.
Hey.
I don't even give you an
So if
appointment.
you're associated with the government, start dealing, get your own money and deal with your own stuff.
Yes.
That's the serious issue.
It's a very serious issue. It's a very, very serious issue because they are not paying people.
Hey.
Don't do business with them.